It is that time once again. If you're a follower of Trib Live Radio, it's probably one of your favorite times of the week. Time to check in with our friends from Blush Exotic, Ninth Street, downtown. BlushExotic.com is the website. The Ultimate Gentleman's Club, or as I like to call it, the playground for adults, but that's just me. And I have to admit, this is a special, very, very special occurrence because our guest joining me right now, this is her first time being here almost a year and a half since she's been here in Pittsburgh. So we're very excited to have Bonnie Rotten back in town. So excited! Tim Benz is joining us here in studio. Tim couldn't afford to miss it.
You think I'd stick around 2 hours on a Friday in the middle of summer for anybody but this? For just you to stick around? Absolutely not.
I don't blame you in the least bit. I don't blame you at all.
Well, I missed her when I used to do these all the time at the X when I was working on the morning show, and I was contracted with the other club in town. Mm-hmm. You were always contracted with Blush, so I could never interview my personal all-time favorite in the industry, Bonnie Rotten.
I did not know. I did not know that Bonnie was your all-time favorite.
All-time favorite.
Wow.
Now, that's the biggest lie possible.
I didn't know before a couple weeks ago.
Okay, a couple weeks ago. Right. All I've been doing is saying, I'm staying until 3 o'clock this time, right?
I didn't know before it came to our attention that Bonnie would be joining us. I did not know she was your favorite.
I did learn something about you.
What?
Okay, because when we were talking to our third host, Guy, who's off doing TV right now, I also think he might have stuck around as well. He's like, well, who is this girl Benz keeps talking about in the industry? So he throws open the laptop, and he likely now has been fired for whatever,
There's a strong possibility
yeah, exactly.
he may be
I don't think we're supposed to look up your kind of sites on our laptops, but I didn't know you were blonde at one point.
I was never blonde.
You weren't blonde.
No.
Did you have a blonde wig?
Yes.
That's what it was.
But that was literally 6 years ago.
That was probably right when you got in the business.
No.
No?
No.
How long have you been in the business now?
Well, I started when I was 18. I'm 23 now, so whatever math that is, 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I kind of like the blonde look.
Thank you. I want to go blonde.
Do you?
Yeah. But everybody knows me as dark, so I can't change up my whole
That's
profile.
a serious rebrand. If you handle it wrong, it might not go over
in the
well.
industry,
Yeah.
right? You can't
That's huge.
screw around with your special clientele that comes to you almost like you're a girlfriend or a wife on the internet, right?
Yeah.
And if the girlfriend or the wife changes her hair and it's not thumbs up, then that's a big deal.
Yep.
So you got to make sure you're good with your regulars.
Absolutely.
Now, we've been talking about how it's been almost a year and a half since the last time you were here. Now, lots happened since the last time you were here. You got to recap for us. It's been a pretty big year and a half for you.
Well, I actually got pregnant and left the industry and had a baby.
And how's the little one?
She's fantastic.
That's excellent.
She's the cutest. She's 5 months now. She's a little bundle of joy, and it's the best thing in the world.
Are you going back into the industry?
No, I'm not performing any longer. I haven't performed since January 2015.
This is heartbreak.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
See, now I stuck around 2 extra hours at work just to be depressed on the way home.
Bonnie, Tim stayed here for you to just totally kill his dreams.
Rip my heart out.
It is now being stomped on under the table as we speak.
Hey, but there's lots of new stuff always coming out.
Well, that's part of why you're here, right?
Yeah.
Is it the you're I think partnering with the adult marts in town? Or?
Yeah, they do promotion, and then I launched my own toy line, so I own my own novelty business now.
All right, we'll talk about that because that's part of what brought you here. Because there's a couple of them in Pittsburgh. In fact, one of them right around the corner from my house. So I'm gonna have to make a second stop on the way back.
You definitely are.
See, now there's good news for Tim again.
Right, exactly. I'm just a little ball of emotions bouncing up and down to the ceiling in the basement.
You were trapped in a glass case.
Basically, I put my own money in and I sent it out and I made my own toys. I have a 4-piece collection called the Bonnie Rotten Black Label, and it's going fantastic.
Now, the brick and mortar stores, how are they doing? Because there's so much traffic online, right?
They're affected in the DVD market, but when it comes to toys are a tangible product, so you can't steal toys. Mm-hmm. So they're really, the toy business is great. That's why I decided, screw investing my money into DVDs and production, because it's not that great. You make your money back, but it's not awesome. So I put my money into toys, and it's awesome. It
actually makes a lot of sense from a business standpoint, especially if you're trying to build your own brand. I guess that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
So did you consider getting back doing films again, or was it as soon as you got pregnant you knew that was it?
Well, I actually stopped before I got pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah, I stopped 4 months before I got pregnant because I was traveling so much every single weekend. I saw you guys a lot. I was traveling a lot, going out of the country. I had another toy line with another company, and I just performed so much. I'm sorry. And it was always enjoyable for me, but I got to the point where it was kind of time for me to move on to other things.
Adult stars, rock stars, and boxers always retire and come back.
Yep.
Are you setting it up for the grand re-entry or anything like that?
not.
Which would be a great name for your new film. If
Grand re-entry. That is a good one.
You can come back with that.
Film.
How did we not come up with this before? How has this not been
You
considered
think
at
that
any
I
time?
didn't? They just come up with that at the top of my head?
No, I mean that's not.
I wouldn't
that's
put it
not
past
something
you.
I see happening.
Really?
It's not. No.
So you don't miss that part of the business at all. Now it's just kind of marketing the toy line and all
Yep.
that. Do you find that more and more girls are going in that direction, or?
I mean, it's a little difficult to go in that direction because you do have to have a certain amount of star power, and you obviously have to save your money and invest and be a little business minded. And I have a good team behind me. They keep me on the straight and narrow, and they keep me, they give me good advice when it comes to business and what to do and what not to do.
So how does that affect your schedule? So obviously, being the businesswoman that you are now, you probably do a lot less travel and a lot less moving around. So how's your schedule shake out now these days?
Well, I'm actually doing it's 40 cities in 48 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. So this year is it. Like it's crunch time. I'm dancing my ass off every single weekend.
So you're just back in it, out of the skillet into the fire all over again.
Yep.
That's
Lost
awesome.
all my weight, came back, time to go.
Well, we're glad you're back here. We're
Thank
glad to
you.
see you again.
Thank
It was a long time in between, so to have you back
know.
here is pretty excellent.
Well, I got a couple other questions.
Okay,
Go for it.
A couple other questions to ask here. So who then fills the void when it comes to people like me who love girls in your business with all the tats? Who's the next? If there's a next Bonnie Rotten, who is it?
I don't know. I mean, there isn't a lot of tattooed girls that have the it thing, My thing was always like, I don't want this to sound rude or anything. I'm just telling you what my what I wanted to be perceived as. I always wanted to be perceived as a pretty girl with tattoos, not like an alt girl,
Right.
So it's a hot
you are,
commodity.
which is why I was asking, because I
Yeah.
don't know who else falls under that category. If you came across anybody else in the business or someone who's looked up to you and think, that's the kind of audience I want to fit in with.
I really don't know any off the top of my head.
Because the only other girl,
I'll make sure I tweet you and let you know.
the only other girl that I thought of that was of your ilk was Christy. But you guys didn't get along,
No,
right? There was
we
like a
didn't.
beef there.
Yeah.
Okay, now that you're getting out of the industry, do you bury old hatchets or anything like
I
that?
don't have any problems with her.
No?
I don't hate her and I don't like her. It just is what it is.
No, that's understandable. That's completely
Yeah.
understandable. But you guys serve such a broad niche, and if there's a lot of money to be made there for somebody who can do what you did. And I didn't know if you had a protege that you want to tap on the shoulder and say,
I don't know any.
"This is my young Padawan Jedi that's moving."
It's a little disappointing though because a lot of the new girls that come in, I've tried to take a couple under my wing. They don't listen.
I mean, they don't listen. How
They don't
so?
listen. Like, you have somebody here that will give you valuable advice, right? I'm going to make you a lot of money. I'm going to help you. I'm going to teach you all the hacks of porn and stripper, right? They don't take that advice. They
Wow.
want to.
Everybody can do it better.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yikes.
Everybody can do it better, or they want to experience it on their own. So it's kind of like, all right, I'm done.
Here you
teaching.
are. You're young enough, and you're still a veteran leader, and nobody wants to take your no one's take your attention, your
I
initiative,
have a couple
your
girls
advice.
that hit me up and ask me advice, and I give it to them, and hopefully they follow it. But I've learned that investing my time into helping a lot of girls is kind of a waste of my time, to be honest.
Okay, now
It's kind of sad.
You are a renowned, I don't know if the word is apologist or devotee to the Oakland Raiders.
I
You're
am.
a huge
Devotees,
Raider
I think
fan.
is a good word.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Most Raider fans are devotees.
We are.
Every Sunday, I can count on a certain amount of people to tweet a certain amount of things before I go on the air to do the Steeler broadcast.
Yep.
And I know I'm going to get my Raiders information from you exclusively.
Absolutely.
So, with that being said, now that you've opened up your schedule a little bit, do you go on the road with the Raiders? Are the Raiders making a comeback? Do you get to, I don't know, opening
Your
coin
face
toss?
says it all. Your face says it all. Just saying.
Well, I mean,
Give us the breakdown. What can
I
we
think-
expect from the Silver and Black this year?
silver and black. Well, I think we're going to have a good year. I really do. I think it's going to be good, but we did a lot of restructuring, and it's going to take a little bit of time. So I think the first few games are going to be rocky. We're going to get in a groove, and then the end of the season is going to be good.
Do the players on the team know how much of a fan you are of
Some
theirs?
do.
They
Some
do?
do.
Do you have any friends on the team?
I'm actually really good friends with Cliff Branch.
Okay.
Yeah, and I go and hang out in his suite every game that I can go to, and I'm friends with the
Now
organization.
there's a connection to the old Steeler Raider rivalry.
Raider
right there.
star power. Bang.
Yeah.
Right here.
Have you ever asked him about the Immaculate Reception?
No.
Do you know about the Immaculate?
don't. What
you
is
don't know
this?
about the Immaculate
I
Reception
don't.
as a Steeler Raider.
That sounds like repressed memories to me.
Yeah,
Tell
as a
me-
Raider
tell me
fan.
about this.
So the dawn of the Steeler dynasty was the Immaculate Reception, which was a crazy play where a ball went over the middle, last seconds of the game between the 72 Steelers and 72 Raiders. Ball falls into Franco Harris's hands, and he runs for a touchdown. And the Raiders, for decades, have insisted that the play shouldn't have counted because of the way the ball came off a defender versus the receiver intended for. And you're looking it up on the phone right now.
I'm going to text him right now.
Ask Cliff Branch on the air right now his thoughts on the Immaculate Reception and see how many middle of finger emojis you get back right away from him on that.
Cliff Branch is going to find us and kill us now. You realize that, right?
Right, absolutely.
We're going to get killed because you had her text Cliff Branch on the air.
So is it just the Raiders or is it all Northern California sports? Is it the Warriors?
It's the Raiders.
That's it. It's just football. You're not a basketball fan?
I watch basketball, but it doesn't hit me like football
and
does.
Hockey doesn't either, huh?
No.
You might be the only NorCal girl I know that's like, I watch basketball, but the Warriors,
They're great. They're great, but I'm
champions.
from Cincinnati.
Well, I guess
I
that
didn't
makes
know you grew up in
sense.
Cincinnati.
Yeah,
I didn't know that either.
Cincinnati, so I mean,
So she's got a Bengal thing and a Raider thing for Steeler fans out there.
Yeah, I definitely. Sorry, guys. it's a love-hate relationship because you guys kind of messed up my favorite guy in the game, Carson Palmer.
You do realize
I was there that
he
day.
was never the same after that.
You do realize we want them to still come see you after we're done.
I
with
know,
this
I
interview,
know.
Right?
No,
Just making sure we know
Because
that.
most girls,
Okay.
I've seen so many girls in the industry come into town, and within 90 seconds, they're doing something illicit with a terrible towel. Now,
Yeah.
you will not be doing that. You will not pick up a terrible towel.
I might do something illicit with it, but it may not be what you guys want.
Well, I know one.
That usually doesn't go well for the guys that do it the other way around.
How can I put this delicately?
Throwing it out there.
Delicately enough for our cameras. I know you have one specific skill that a terrible towel might be needed to be used afterwards.
Exactly.
That helped you make your name in the industry.
Yep.
But it might take more than one terrible towel.
I think we'll need a gang of them.
Like a terrible tarp.
Yeah.
Terrible tarp.
I said I was going to rain.
Terrible ponchos.
Right, exactly.
And a terrible tarp.
I said I was going to wear a black and gold raincoat to do this interview, and I completely forgot to do it.
That's great.
Now, what's going to happen? No one can. Oh, is that Cliff?
Yeah.
We got an answer from Cliff Branch.
Okay, this is big. Cliff Branch is texting us as we
He
speak.
just sent me pictures.
That's a laundry. Was it a casino?
It looks like
Yeah,
a casino.
it's a casino.
I think that's the wrong
He's the
photo.
funniest. He's the funniest texter I've ever met in my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when you,
So we'll get an answer.
Just make sure I'm not around when it happens.
Oh, here we go.
He might want to kill us.
I'm really sorry to hear that the geyser's gone off for the last time. That breaks my heart to know that we're not going to see anything like that from you in the future.
I know.
This is a hard day for all of us to get through. But thank you for coming by.
Of course, absolutely.
And,
We always appreciate it. It's always a fun time when you're here.
Thank
So,
you. Thank
we
you.
got to remind everybody now. Of course, you had your first show last night.
Last night,
Thursday.
yes.
It's Friday, so you got 2 more shots. 2 shots tonight on Friday. 2 shots on Saturday. 4 more chances to see Bonnie Rotten at Blush Exotic 9th Street.
And you want to give a
downtown.
plug for the stores too?
I do. I'm going to be in Adult Mart tonight from 4 to 7 p.m. and just come see me and let's have fun at the club.
And
let me set the record straight. I don't hate you Steeler fans. I love you all very much. I love you all very, very much. I am sad about a couple things, but we'll get through
as
it.
long as you don't come out in like a half Bengal, half Raider shirt and tear it apart, I think everything will be okay.
Yeah.
I have to agree with that. I think you'll be fine. Tim, Benz, Bonnie Rotten, Josh Taylor,
And
Trip Live
promise
Radio.
us you will
Bye.
forward us the Cliff Branch response on the
I
Immaculate
will, for
Reception.
sure.
Yes, we have to see how
I
this
will.
happens. Trip Live Radio, Blush Exotic 9th Street downtown.
Bye.